don't have a sunny disposition. I'm not known for being too amused. My demeanor's locked in one position. See my face? I'm enthused. Suddenly, however, I've been puzzled. Bunny rabbits make me want to cry. All my inhibitions have been muzzled, and I think I know why. I'm being pulled in a new direction, but I think I like it. I think I like it. I'm being pulled in a new direction. Through my painful pursuit, somehow birdies took root. All the things I detested, impossibly cute. God, what do I do? Mother always said be kind to strangers, but she doesn't know what they destroy. I can feel the clear and present dangers when she learns that the boy has got me pulled in a new direction. But I think I like it. I think I like it. I'm being pulled in a new direction. But this feeling I know is impossible, so I'll confide that I've tried, but I can't let it go. It's disgustingly true. Oh, oh, oh. Puppy dogs with droopy faces, unicorns with dancing mice, sunrise in wide open spaces, Disney World, I'll go there twice. Butterflies and picnic lunches, bunches of chrysanthemums, lollipops and pillow fights, Christmas Eve, shenanigans, string quartets and chia pets and afternoon banana splits, angels watching as I sleep, and Liberace's greatest hits have got me pulled in a new direction. If they keep insisting, I'll stop resisting. Just watch me pull in a new direction. I should stay in the dark, not obey every spark, but the boy has a bite better far than his bark, and you bet I'll bite too. Do what's truly taboo as I'm pulled in a new direction.
We represent the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, and in the name of the Lollipop Guild, we wish to welcome you to Munchkinland.
Jimmy on a beat, boy.
Okay, Boomer. Whatever you say, Boomer. 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 B-O-O-M-E-R, please, your dusty mood don't vibe with me. You are old and so therefore I must say 10 for dinosaur. Okay, Boomer. Whatever you say, Boomer. Okay, Boomer. Whatever you say, Boomer. Okay, Boomer. Whatever you say, Boomer. Okay, Boomer.
Jimmy on a beat, boy.
Boomer.
Oh my God! I think we're here again.
Okie dokie, Boomer.
Are we here? Are we really here? Do we get a sound
If you
check?
say so, I think we are. I think we are.
It's been one of those crazy weeks, Chanda. I mean, you were like navigating the roads of audio hell on Thursday, and
Right?
yeah, it was like crazy. I'm sitting in the dentist chair. They're like jackhammering my teeth, and Chanda's going, "Oh God, can you guys hear me? Something's wrong with it."
Well, my production assistant crawled over here and pushed my mic in my face, so I was good to go.
Yeah, that's good. You have that assistant. Keep him around for a while. Keep
We
them
got a
around.
lot of special people hanging out tonight. I got to tell you, all of our viewers are special, but our viewers that tune in for Beauty and the Boomer, they're the specialists to me.
Oh, hell yeah. They are the specialists. And I just, before we get going, I want to thank everybody that helps support the show. Special shout out to Aram. Aram, you are, just terrific. We see you supporting our sisters and brothers who get it right.
Yes.
And we appreciate that, along with all of you who support our sisters and brothers, Sabby Sabs, all Combo Couch, all of our sisters and brothers. There's just too many to name, and honestly, they're the greatest. So
Well, it's because it's so important. We're grateful and thankful when you help us, but we know how important the message is that we're trying to get out there, right? And we do like a variety BS show, and we've always said that we are not journalists. We're just doing our own thing, like you always say. We're in our own lane. We don't know what lane it is, but our brothers and sisters, they're out there doing real work, on the ground work. I just say I feel like it's so important that we continue to support them and what they're doing. So we appreciate it. We see everybody out there building up our brothers and sisters and sharing and liking, and we get it. If times are tough, man.
they are
So
tough,
we
tough, tough,
appreciate a like and a share and a good word. That goes a long way with us.
Really, really do. And all of you, positive reinforcement, because you all earn it. Thank you so much for doing that.
Where are we?
And we want to remind everybody that we're satire. If there's a definition,
If you want to call it that, we try to be satire.
We try to stay clean satire, and sometimes we push the envelope, but not usually too much. We got the Beauty and the Boomer official Patreon. If you want to be a big boomer, that's number 3, Big Boomer and Junior Boomer, and they're all very special to us. In so many ways.
I didn't get the Patreon fired off tonight. For some reason, it logged me out and I couldn't get back in, and it kicked me out of Google right as we were going live. So I will get this tonight's show uploaded to Patreon, but I'm going to start doing things over on Patreon now. That has been my goal for a year and a half now.
We've
for
been
18
saying
months.
it.
I didn't have the capability. I wasn't engineering my shows, and it was just too much to add another show to you and everything that you were doing.
Yeah.
But now that I've learned how to engineer and I've got like a month's worth of shows under my belt on my own, I'm going to start doing a Q&A hangout over on the Patreon for all of our big boomers.
Yeah,
so,
what's that other platform that we're on that we're supposed to be on more? Is that Iverson's on that? LinkedIn? What is that?
LinkedIn? Or do we have a LinkedIn? We have everything,
No.
I think. I don't know.
Oh God, what's the name? Brain freeze. Old. Oh shit!
You're gonna make me list all the platforms.
No, somebody in the chat, help me out. What am I talking about?
What's he talking about? Hey, chat. Let's talk to the chat.
Let's
chat?
talk
Oh
to
my
the chat.
God, I want to go to a Q&A. Kate, I would love to hang out and chat with you. You guys are so cool. It's so down to earth, and you guys get it. You understand. You're so informed. I love hanging out and meeting you guys in public because for the most, you guys are exactly how we are. We just are casual, hang out, and talk about the world.
Yeah,
right?
with the more
Lizzie Prickles, yes.
Oh, locals. Thank you, Meteor Dreams. Yes, locals.
You can read his mind better than I can.
Pat, the Batman fan. Hey, Pat, you want to do a Halloween song for us next week, brother?
Oh, I was thinking of one the other day. I almost emailed Pat about it. What was it?
Oh, he's killed so many for us.
So much pot. I know. Pat kills it. Whenever I'll be in the shower, listen, and I'll be like, oh, Pat could kill this. So I immediately will email it.
Yeah. If you want to do a Halloween song, or if you want me to rerun Mac the Knife, you were great with Mac the Knife. Rob Juno, good to see you. Positive reinforcement. Yeah, I mean, everybody needs a little bit of that.
Thank you so much for the super chat. We love super chats because we work so hard to get to have the ability to super chat, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like a ding, ding, ding for us. Hey, I want to shout out our chats while we're here. Jilly, hey, Jilly. Gamer, Vass Adams, hey, Vic, how's it going? Barbie Dog, SF Thomas. Metro Dreams, welcome. The platform is locals. You were right. Natalie Williams, Lizzie Prickles, Wesley Wiles, go start, not go stop. And let's see who else I got here.
SF
Of course, Pat,
Thomas.
the Batman fan.
You got
SF
SF
Thomas.
yeah.
Oh, of course I got it.
Oh, God, we're getting a full house over on the Finn. You want me to call those one out?
Yeah, you can go ahead and call out the Finn.
Come
I'm
Schwari,
looking forward to
Kate, Sister Kate, we love you. Aram, thank you, Chanda and Oz, for another one of those super rays.
Miss Bob.
And another super ray from Aram, Halloween dollars. We will make sure that
Aram,
we will
can't
put
say thank you enough.
Yeah, we can't. Truly, we can't. So, and Kamshari Kate said, Aram, you are a saint. Thanks for all that you do here, and like we added everywhere. We love this support.
Everywhere.
Riley Martin, good to see you, Riley. I love that
Riley.
avatar. Copeland Morris, brother Copeland Morris, love it. Ronnie Graham, yes, Ronnie Graham. Oh my God, Jim.
Natalie.
What's going on, Jim? Natalie's in there. Yes. Hi, everybody. Good to see you.
Natalie hit us with the super chat. Did you hear Pancake is ready to roll out? And yes, I went and got my beta code. You go to pancake dot whatever it is. I think it's .org. Or you can find it on Twitter. They have a Twitter. And you go and you sign up to be one of the 5,000 beta users. So there's going to be a couple of tiers, the way they're going to roll Pancake out. So they're going to let the first wave of beta users use it. And then if you don't get approved, so they give everybody a code. And apparently the date when they launch it and you can go in and sign up for it. If you don't get into the first 5,000, you'll be in the first 20,000. So you'll get a different code that lets you in for the first 20,000. So if you want to be one of the first 5 or 20,000 users, get over there and get your code. You guys are hitting us with the super chats tonight. Aspen Fallen, thank you. Biggest downside to working overnights now is I never catch B&B live anymore. Always catch the replay though. Love you, fams. I love that you guys catch the replay. We get it, man. Working for a living, right?
Yeah.
We'll always be here. You'll always find us.
Stick around. We got a hell of an outro tonight, too.
I got a hell of a, yeah, we do.
Got a hell of an outro. Got
job.
a terrific Sabby Sab segment. But before we start the show, we need to talk real quick about the Halloween party. What are we doing?
Yes.
Remind everybody.
Okay, so as you know, this is our 3rd annual Beauty and the Boomer Halloween party. It's kind of a big deal around here. And the first year around, we invited guests. Like, who'd we have? We had Graham Elwood, Ron Placone. A lot of people we wouldn't, you know. But anyway, so the second year, we brought everybody in that wanted to come in that was dressed in costume. But now, because we have so many more, you know, it used to be just a really small circle of us, like 20, 30, that would really just come in and watch this stuff. So we want to be able to do a show. So I think of what we're going to do is anybody who is a big boomer or contributes to the show or has contributed to the show.
Junior boomer, mid boomer, all those.
Yeah, any of the boomers.
Tiers.
Anybody, any Patreon that wants to come in or anybody who wants to dress up and let us know. We will bring you into the green room. And you can hang out while we do the show. You don't have to be on camera, or you can be on camera. That's up to you. I don't know if we'll have a real back and forth with the green room because the green room might be too big. I mean, when you got 10, 15 people sitting in the green room, that's hard to manage and do a show. Yeah. And we want to make sure that everybody's entertained that tunes in.
We're going to be light on news and more on entertainment next week.
Yeah. Well, that's what we always do.
Because we don't want to have everybody come on because this is their... You know, they want to talk about their issue and stuff, which is great. But I think what we should do is offer up, you know, doing a show where we have people come on and talk about the issues. Because when you lock up the screen, we run for like hours and hours and hours. And I'm old and I can't last that long. So.
Oh, I'm going to start doing viewer participation shows. So, like anybody who wants to just, you know, do a show and hang out and talk about something, I can engineer now.
RBN had a good panel today. There were 7 people on there. So. I guess, yeah.
Those are tough, man. I used to do those big panels when we first started out.
God.
Yeah, they're rough. They're rough to do.
They are definitely rough. But our sisters...
Shout out to everybody doing them.
Yeah, our sisters and brothers are doing a damn good job with those. And we're not going to clone what they're doing. We're going to do our own thing. And continue to do our own thing. And we're going to try and bring a little different stories, but we will talk about the stories that we anticipate that you want us to comment on. Right. So, again, next week, more come in with your costume or not and hang out and just let's breeze through.
Come on, get those costumes. I can't wait.
What are you going to be? What are you going to be?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You have to tune in Saturday the 29th to see what I'm going to be. Am I going to be scary or am I going to be slutty?
Mine's going to be more on the macabre. this year.
Macabre, yeah, definitely.
Mine's gonna
You're
be
right.
more on the cob. Macabre. Not corn on the cob. Macabre.
Not the corn on the cob, yeah.
SF Thomas loves that necklace, Shanda.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a nice necklace. Pat, whatever song you want to get animated with, I think Thriller's been overdone, but if you want to do the moonwalk,
Yeah.
you can do that. So
Yeah, do it. No, Pat will find something.
yeah,
good. I
you'll
know
find
he will.
something, Pat.
I
You're very
always
creative.
feel. Has he already covered? I always feel like somebody's watching me. You have, Pat. haven't you?
Somebody's watching me. Yeah,
That was Barry Gordy's son.
Yeah.
Who was that, guys?
yeah. Ask Jamie if she'd like to come on and do one too. That would be great. We'd love to have both of you. So
Heck yeah.
yeah, definitely. Shanda, you brought this meme right here, and God,
Funny,
it's
scary, or better than slutty. I agree.
You got
Let's see.
the great-
18 hits, 27 hits, 30 hits, 34 confirmed and still counting.
Oh, that's bad. Oh.
That's conspiracy.
You
That's
can't
a
dress up like Bill and
conspiracy.
Hillary, guys. Please don't do that to us.
Yeah, please don't.
We all have to endure them far more than we'd like to. So, I saw this week, and I think you nailed it, Shanda. This is what I feel when
frickin' meathead.
when I see a liberal.
Okay, so Rob Reiner says Donald Trump is an illegitimate president. Okay, so he welcomed the help of foreign enemy power and aid, abetting, instilling an election. He covers up to 100 contacts with the enemy and obstructed the investigation into the enemy's attack on the U.S. Hashtag impeachment now. So let's just remember, I hate them.
Yeah, well, this is from 2019. We know that Trump's not in.
But they're still saying the same shit.
And there's
That's
still
the
Trump.
point.
It's still
There's
Trump,
still-
Trump,
oh my
Trump,
God.
Trump, Trump. So, guy, get a clue,
Stop.
dude. I mean, Jesus. Jesus.
January 6th, I saw. You know what? I saw a press conference with some of the Republicans. I don't remember their names because I don't really care about the Republicans. But God damn it, I agreed with them on most of everything they said about January 6th and Nancy Pelosi and how they were warned. They knew. They let. They let the Capitol Police. They were warned. Like, no, don't worry about it. We don't need extra security. And now look at what they're doing with their fake trial.
Pat says he's going to come in as Rob Reiner being a meathead. Oh, no, I misread that. I'm
Nice.
sorry, Pat. Shanda wrote the show tonight, for the most part, tonight. So she wrote a great show. What is this, Gen Z? Are you talking about Gen Z? Why aren't you talking about boomers?
Oh, we can get into that. Yeah, I've been in a whole generational crush lately. So anyways, Gen Z will never understand the pain and embarrassment of a group of cowboys outing you for getting your salsa from New York City. He gets his salsa from New York City. You have to know what that is to understand that meme. And that is
pop culture, yeah.
That is pop culture. It is.
Yeah, I get my
absolutely.
salsa from Costco. It's that mango stuff salsa, peach mango.
Oh, you don't buy
salsa.
the paste. So there
No,
you go.
I don't buy the paste. It's got too much radiation in it. I'm not big on paste. So, Primo Radical, the difference between conservatives and liberals is that one wants the entire planet to be Walmarts and McDonald's, and the other wants the entire planet to be Targets and Starbucks. You guess which one? Which one? Which one?
Which one? They're all the same. Oh, I need my Julian fan
There.
roasting here.
Oh, are you having one of those flashers? Oh, what happened? Did we lose the
My
next
bad.
one?
Hold on.
Click the
There
we
you go. There you go.
Oh, okay. And we want to remind everybody when we talk about primaries, and I'm not going to use the E word.
The E word.
The E word. I
Yeah.
can't use the E word.
I think we should do a show where we're not allowed to say certain words.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a quiet show, I think.
More than what YouTube does to us.
Just Shanda put this on her timeline the other day, and I pulled it off because we need a reminder about talking about rigging things. Hi, I'm Emily Geiske. I'm a lobbyist working for Pfizer and Goldman Sachs. I'm also a Democratic superdelegate. I'm Tony Burgess. I'm a lobbyist for Pfizer. I'm also a Democratic superdelegate. This is Janie Dowdle. I'm a senior VP at News Corp, Fox News.
Yeah.
Division reasonable for division of reasonable for. I sound like Biden. I'm also a super delegate. Hi, I'm Bill Shaheen. I am a lobbyist for Pain Cure Centers, a major opioid prescriber. I'm also a Democrat superdelegate. And I'm Jeff Berman, and I am a lobbyist for private prison companies, Geo Group, and Keystone XL. I'm also a superdelegate and working for Hillary, and working for Hillary, and working for Hillary. And it goes on and on and on. Chanda, shall we tell them? Tell them the big secret? Some of them might know. All of them might know. That's only 5. There are about 60 of them.
Yeah, I think there's actually more than that, but
and their votes are weighted too. A superdelegate vote is like tons more than just one
they
vote.
represent so many more. You know, go ahead, elections coming up, thinking our votes are counting, but when it comes down to the, these guys had the power. This is a post that I put up in 2016. Because I was trying to get people to understand. So look at those names and who is still all these years later in fucking power, right?
Yeah.
Pfizer, definitely. Keystone XL, well, they've been through ups and downs, but hey, the oil's making money. Pain care centers, opiate prescribers. Okay, well, they just changed drugs, right? I just did a report on how they switched everybody to gabapentin to get, they just move you from one thing to another. Okay, well, we can't keep making money on this. We got busted and now we got to pay the government. Well, we'll just give them a little sliver of what our profits were. But yeah, now everybody's got to go on this because we are so miserable as a fucking society that we beg for anything that will alter our state.
Yeah, it is. And truly, honest to God, it's weighted going into the Democrats' primary election. And these people, how do I say this?
But the Democrats changed it. Remember when they had the committee, the DNC committee that looked after 2016, and then they threw a bone to progressives, and we're going to cut back the super delegates.
Oh,
Remember,
yeah.
that was all Bernie and the squad. They were so happy about it. It was a win. It wasn't a fucking win. You got fed some crumbs. And
That's the one where No Miki was there performing her
Miki
stuff.
Was in the middle of that BS.
She was in. So anyway,
she was.
And I brought this up because it's the midterms. We already had the primary, and a lot of
it's going to come again.
A lot of the good people who were running, who believe in our system of elections in this country, got screwed again. So how many times do you do the same thing expecting a different result? Yeah, let's do it again. Robert Rack, did I bring this?
No, I did. How revolting. He can fuck way off in the distance. So why are grocery prices so high? Monopoly power. If Kroger succeeds in merging with Albertsons, it will control Safeway, Ralph Smith, Harris Teeter, Dillard's, Fred Meyer, Vaughn's, Jewel Osca, and Shaw's,
Osco's,
Okay. But who keeps allowing these monopoly powers to stay in fucking control?
The Democrats.
Democrat.
And the Republicans. Yeah, it's 220, 221. It's the same. It's a duopoly. And those who have tried to argue with me this week on certain boards have pulled their posts down after I responded. What the hell?
Beautiful.
I wasn't mean.
Beautiful.
I was not mean.
No,
I was
mean.
honest.
Always honest.
Did Joe go to...
Facts kill them. When you hit them with some facts, man, they just can't.
They weren't even harsh. They were just pointing out some things, It's like, get a clue. Is this Biden going to sleep here? What the hell is this?
I got a whole bunch of Biden, so let's just roll. This is Biden. Biden says that it's the gas station gouging you.
Oh, it's a gas station. And by the way...
You're being gouged, but by the gas station, not by the government.
By the way, for some of our brothers and sisters and brothers that are critical of us always talking about these high-profile people, well, we do, because a lot of our sisters and brothers want to hear another opinion. That's all. Here we go.
Joining us now from House Homeland Security, Congressman Carlos Jimenez. Great to see you, Congressman. Okay, it's good to have you back on. Okay, the White House is getting criticized because they put out a tweet that basically undercut the president's claims of price gouging by mom and pop gas stations. Let's show what happened. Watch this.
When the cost of oil comes down, we should see the price of the gas station at the pump come down as well. But that's not what's happening.
Congressman, when you see it does go in lockstep. When oil goes down, gas prices go down. When oil goes up, gas prices does go up. I mean, the White House even tweeted out those fever lines.
Yeah, and so what you need is more oil so that the price of the barrel goes down, and once the price of the barrel goes down, you see that relief at the gas pump. I don't understand what the president doesn't understand.
I mean, the margins are so tight, so they're blaming gas station owners. They make profits off of what they sell, like pretzels and potato chips. That's possibly why Circle K in Florida is letting its gas stations there sell marijuana. I mean, we had the federal, you know this too, Congressman, you've talked about it. The Federal Trade Commission has never found price gouging by gas station owners in multiple probes since even after Hurricane Katrina in 2006.
Yeah, they just follow. Look, it's market forces, and it's a global market, and they have to buy the gas at a certain price. And like you said, the margins are really small. The margins stay the same whether the price of the price that they pay goes up or it goes down. The margins stay the same, but we get the benefit of decreased prices as there's more supply. The problem here is this war that the Biden administration has declared on the fossil fuel industry here in the United States for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Not only are we hurting Americans, we're also hurting our allies, because now they're looking at blackouts and cold winters. And, cold actually kills, people 15 to 17 times more than heat does. And so, this is inhumane. This entire green energy, green policy, Green New Deal stuff that the Biden administration is pursuing and trying to force us into this is actually inhumane. It's going to kill a lot of people, and it's hurting the Americans in their pocketbooks every day.
Okay, so this pissed me off on a couple of different levels. I mean, these guys are idiots. But the fact that the White House tried to push this off on mom and pop gas stations, I worked for the biggest oil company in Washington State for 10 years. I was a manager, and it was my job to get up every morning at 3:30 in the morning and go get on the fax machine and find out what the gas prices are set by the major oil companies. Not by us, not by the stores, not by the 15 chain stores that we had in the chain, but by the main oil companies, because every single gas station in a metropolitan area is subcontracted in a fucking partnership with some big gas company, be it Arco, be it Shell, be it whatever gas station, whatever gas station you pull into, they have a contract with them. They have to meet all those obligations. And that means staying with regular current gas prices. You can't just say, oh, just because Joe Smo down the road changed the gas prices, we're going to keep our gas high. That's not how capitalism and competition works, especially with gas stations. There might be a very small handful of true mom and pops that are non-branded, that are out in the middle of the Mojave Desert or, in bumfuck Egypt, that they move so little gas that they can, gouge their prices. But for the most part, no, these are state regulatory taxes that are fucking gouging you. And to try to put it off on small businesses and say they're doing it, shame on the White House. This is freaking terrible.
Well, it's not a surprise. Honestly, not a surprise at all. Not a surprise at all. You brought this. Who am I voting for, Hill? Beelzebub?
Beelzebub. That's Nancy Pelosi when she doesn't get her vodka and tonic.
Oh my God, the house drinker. Wow.
House drinker. Inflation's not that high. Inflation.
Yeah,
I love that.
inflation. That's inhalation is what he's doing. So it is what it is. You brought, this is a United Spot or Eat Trade Travel?
Oh, you need my pickle juice? You got hiccups.
Yeah, I do now. You gave them to me. We share a brain. So, yeah. Is this United Spot? E-Trade.
Yeah, I think this is it.
United Spot.
Is it a United Spot?
It's a United Spot. Yeah, let's have it. We need a little laugh here real quick. Yeah,
Let's laugh.
Hello, Joe. Oh, man. Chris Hansen. I knew it. I knew I shouldn't have come up here. I'm sorry, man. I even said to myself, I said, Joe, don't you go in there. What? Are the cops outside or what? Can I please go? I promise I won't do it again. I wasn't going to do nothing, I swear. I didn't even know how old she was. I mean, we were just going to eat pizza and watch cuties. Mr. Fake President. Yeah? Are we in a recession? Look here, Jack. I got 2 words for you. Slightly. But that's only one word.
Slightly.
Allegedly. Hey, is recession good or bad? You don't know? No what? If a recession is good or bad? That's actually a good question. Hey, Obama, is recession good or bad? How much money do you owe Ukraine? A lot. Mr. Fake President. Yeah? How's Hunter? Oh, he's doing great. My son's a good boy. You know, I mean, he just wants to paint, waste stuff, write books, and make videos. He's going to be the next president of China. What about the gun? When you say gun, are you saying that my birthday is the same day as I was born? Mr. Fake President, what about the crack? Crack? What crack? Hunter's crack? Well, I mean, I've seen it, but I don't look at it. You know, you don't look at Hunter's crack? No, I mean, I did when I changed his diapers and, you know, in the shower with Ashley, but I haven't seen it recently. What about the 94 crime bill? Well, what's that? The 94 crime bill? What is it? The Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1994? 1994? Come on, man. It's like 2,224 right now. You know, we got to stop living in the past. Is it nap time yet, Jackie?
It is. You know, I love the flies. The flies follow him everywhere. It's
got me butt wiped.
Yeah, my God, that's terrible. It's terrible, Chanda. You're so cruel.
Well, it doesn't stop because I go after him a couple more times.
Keep doing it. Here we go.
Not a joke. How did we get to this point, though?
Well, I think there are a number of things that happened. Number one, I think that we began to we had a leader who concluded that the truth didn't matter a whole lot.
My God, you're so old.
The reason I'm not making a judgment about formally running or not running, once I make that judgment, a whole series of regulations kick in, and I treat myself as a candidate from that moment on. I have not made that formal decision, but it's my intention to run again. And we have time to make that decision.
Ugh.
Dr. Biden is for it. Mr. President.
Who's Dr. Biden?
Mr. President.
His wife,
Wake
but he
up.
like fell
Dr.
asleep and he
Biden
had to like
thinks that,
nudge him, like
My
Mr.
wife
President.
thinks that I.
What is happening?
My wife thinks
They slowed it down.
that I.
What happened? What happened? He's done. He's done. That's what's happened. It's over. He's finished.
We did it. We did it, Joe.
We did it, Joe.
Joe.
We did it, Joe. We did it. Oh, God.
Yeah, they slowed that down, but in real time, he pauses long enough to where the interviewer thinks that he might have dozed off, and he kind of prods him, "Hey, Mr. President." So even though they slowed it down, he did that.
Yeah, he just trailed off. Is that a sign of dementia?
I think it's a sign of many strokes happening in his
That
head.
could
That's
be.
just my conspiracy,
Yeah.
but
You got one more here. What's this about? Is he having cream of bullshit
Oh,
soup?
this is his take on Putin in that interview and nukes.
Oh, my God.
War in Europe. You recently said that this is the first time since the Cuban Missile Crisis that there's a legitimate possibility of someone using a nuclear weapon, which could lead to Armageddon. That's the word you used. How realistic is it, do you think, that Putin would use a tactical nuclear weapon?
Well, I don't think he will, but I think it's irresponsible for him to talk about it. The idea that a world leader of one of the largest nuclear powers in the world says he may use a tactical nuclear weapon in Ukraine.
Listen to who he
The whole point I was making
quotes
was
as a
it could lead
source.
to just a horrible outcome. And not because anybody intends to turn it into a world war or anything, but it just, once you use a nuclear weapon, the mistakes that can be made, the miscalculations, who knows what would happen.
What is the red line for the United States and NATO, and have you directed the Pentagon and other agencies to game out what a response would be if he did use a tactical nuclear weapon, or if he bombed the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant in Ukraine, or anything along those lines?
There's been discussions on that, but I'm not going to get into that. It would be irresponsible of me to talk about what we would or wouldn't do.
Have you asked the Pentagon to game it out, though? I mean, just
game it
in
out.
case.
The
Just
Pentagon
game it
didn't
out.
have
Just
to do
game it
Because
out.
Pentagon doesn't like the game at all.
French President Macron told me that he doesn't think that Putin is acting rationally. And he said that he thinks a lot of this is because
He's a
of how
madman.
isolated Putin was for 2 years during the pandemic. And others who have dealt with him, Condi Rice and Bob Gates and
Condi
James Clapper,
and Bob
have
Gates.
used words like erratic and unhinged to describe Putin's
brilliant.
behavior today,
Brilliant.
do you think Putin is a rational actor?
I think he is a rational actor who's miscalculated significantly. I think he thought, you may recall, I pointed out that they were going to invade, that
We're
all
so
those
screwed.
100,000 or more troops there, and no one believed that he was going to invade Ukraine. You listen to what he says. If you listen to the speech he made after, when that decision was being made, he talked about the whole idea of he was needed to be the leader of Russia that united all the Russian speakers. I mean, I just think it's
Why is that so
irrational.
crazy? Why is that so fucking crazy that he wants to be the leader that brings back all the Russian-speaking people that want to be back under Russian sovereignty that was ripped away in the last, 100 years with NATO parsing it up and, world wars. And then the sources that he quotes, Condi and Macron, he's not in his right mind. We've got to do something. Who's not in their right mind? Kettle Black?
Well, here's the thing, Jack. Who the hell's been talking mostly about diplomacy? It hadn't been the United States or NATO.
Yeah.
It's been other countries, including Russia.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm
We
at.
don't want diplomacy. So every time anybody talks about it, they swat it away. Look at what they're doing to Elon. I mean, we burn Elon down every day, but for a multitude of reasons. The fact that he's a military industrial
Well,
complex.
they're burning
golden
him
boy.
down now for
But
talking
they
about
are
it.
burning him down. How dare you want to talk peace? How dare you? Yeah.
Yeah, and this is all molded by our co-opted, totally bought off propaganda news in the West. So I put this meme in here. I sorry if I didn't credit you. I forgot who it was. Inflation, open border crisis, high gas prices, food shortages, poor foreign relations, baby formula crisis, politicized DOJ, rampant crime, school agenda crisis, depleted military moral, police shortages, high grocery prices, oil shortages, inflation. I mean, really? I mean, yeah, you can stamp a lot of those to his forehead with a half-inch stapler. A lot of that stuff, that's because of the greed. That's corporate greed right there.
Yeah, it is.
And there's not a damn thing his gesturing from the White House to these companies to say, oh, don't raise the prices and all this stuff. There's not. This guy is not. He's not capable of leading
The
a
fact
country.
that he's even talking about a second run term, come on.
Yeah, no, they're not going to let him. They're going to shove.
Stop
They're
it.
going to shove somebody in there. I hope it's Gavin Newsom. I hope they burn Gavin Newsom to the
It
ground.
probably will be.
Gavin Newsom has
There's a couple
ruined.
of them,
Gavin Newsom has all but destroyed California.
California is he destroyed California. I will give you that.
Through the COVID thing, good and bad, through the COVID thing, through what he pulled during the COVID lockdowns, and this new bill, what was it, A28?
There's a ton of new bills in
AB20.
California that are shit. Yeah.
They are going to censor or threaten doctors for having a conversation about how they can treat their patients and what the ramifications
They're
are.
already doing that. They just are now passing laws that say it.
It's
I
bullshit.
personally have a friend who, because she was exchanging emails about the boop boop, that she got reported to ethics and she had to answer to the fucking board for her own emails to people.
And this
Just
was
like,
when?
what
This was
the
when?
hell? This was during COVID, so this was in the last 18 months.
And how much of what she said actually is happening now? Most of it?
All of it, every bit of it. And I mean, they're cautious. They're doctors. They're not going to put their credibility on the line unless they know what they're saying.
And now they're threatening.
Up.
They're threatening to pull their licenses. California, you got a problem because you're going to have doctors bolt out of that state. Because if they are threatened with losing their license,
people are already bolting out of California. I mean, they've been flooding
I used to live
Washington
there
for years.
I used to live there. I mean, it was rough, but Newsom and the Democrat and the Republicans have wrecked California in so many ways. But Newsom, he takes the cake.
Well, yeah, don't let the Republicans off the hook on this one.
No
I mean, Ronnie
fucking
took
way.
the reins of that shit years ago.
Oh
right?
yeah, then
40
you had
years ago.
Schwarzenegger in there, and what's that guy
Right.
that invented the club for the car? That guy,
Oh, and
Daryl
don't leave out,
Issa.
don't leave out Jerry Brown.
Oh yeah, Daryl Issa. Daryl Issa horrible.
Yeah.
So
they've all been horrible,
Yeah.
Democrat or Republican, because they just are out to get rich. They
Yeah.
don't give a shit about Californians at
and
all.
people are going to say, but Oz, who do we vote for in the election? I don't know who you vote for, but I know who it ain't going to be, and it shouldn't be a Democrat or Republican.
Or Republican, yeah.
You
I
know,
know, right?
they're gonna shaft you. And our sisters and brothers in the Republican Party that we may not agree with all the time, they're more likely to vote these bastards out of their party than the Democrats are of the bad ones in that party. So
Yeah. I don't know about that. We're seeing a shift in the Republican Party, and
I know,
we
they're-
really will in the next 4 years. So it's hard to say. Are they going to? I think they're going to end up. Ultimately, they'll end up just like the Democrats, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
is
I agree.
everybody hating them. A small faction of radicals or dug-in corporatists will take control, like we've seen with the
I
Democrats.
tell you,
and-
the clock's ticking, man.
Yeah.
You brought an AOC here. Was
yeah.
she dancing? Because
Well,
people are
yeah,
hearing
you
it?
saw this week, right, where she was dancing while they were booing her, because this is the second time now her own constituents have came out to let her know they're not happy with her warmongering bullshit or not doing anything she said she was going to do when she got elected. And she just, listen. Did you hear that? Where
Yeah.
she was like doing, oh my God.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is.
I know
the
you
same
guys
thing.
have seen this several times in the last 48 hours, but I have a different take on it, a little bit different take, maybe.
Okay.
Let's
Maybe.
watch.
I'm a Latina. I am a Boricua. I am a descendant of Taino Indians. I am a descendant of African slaves. I am proud to be an American.
Very classic. Very classic. Thank you, sir. Very classic. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Very classic. Thank you,
Very
sir.
classic. What do you think of that, Shanda?
What would be classy is if she would have some respect for the people that campaigned for her, worked for her to get elected, that have put their trust in her, and actually listen to what the fuck they're saying and actually follow through with the things that she promised to do. But yeah, no, that is, she's the one telling people they're not classy. Sorry, my phone's blowing up right now.
Yeah, absolutely, and we do share a brain, Shanda, because the classy thing for her to do would have been to just sit there and wait for them to finish or not.
Yeah.
And then take the microphone and say, I understand where you're coming from.
That's guilt. That
Yeah.
that I
That's
can't
arrogance.
along with
That's
it.
deflection.
That's arrogance and fucking deflection. Exactly. She knows damn well she's in the wrong, and that's why she's acting that way.
Yeah, and some of our brothers and sisters and brothers out there were critiquing how those two Lyndon LaRouche people went after her the other day. And I just want to say to our sisters and brothers, with all the love I can muster, what makes you the goddamn arbiters of how somebody should approach a politician that's screwing their district and sending their sons and daughters off to die?
Exactly. Didn't we just approve more money for Ukraine? Another $50 billion?
Something like that. Yeah.
Another $50 billion?
Yeah.
I mean, with the billions and billions we've
Yeah.
already sent, but we can't do shit for anybody in this country.
I'm going to put a challenge here because I'm a little feisty right now. The boomer gets
Okay,
feisty.
bring it on. I'm feisty.
Any
too.
sister and brother out there that wants to take the counter position of mine, which is you do not tell me how to address my congressional representative in my district or critique it publicly without backing up what you say. Respectfully, I would enjoy that conversation all day long, but Shanda, I bet you at the end of the day, we would agree. So we'll see.
Maybe.
We'll see. We've got, I love Tom and Jerry, especially this
Tom
one.
and Jerry. Well, if Tom kills Jerry, the show's over. Same reason the other party needs fixes. It never fixes anything when they're in power. Yeah, this is the Democrats and the Republicans, right?
Yeah, they're
So if
Tom
they
and
actually
we're
follow
Jerry.
Through,
Yeah.
if they actually followed through and they did what they promised us they're going to do every election season, the show would be over.
Most people can't. They'll come in and say, "Oh, the Democrats have done all this child care credits and all this, extended this
Oh
and
my
done
God.
this." I don't want to hear that shit anymore. I'm talking about things that have a lasting effect, and that would be universal, fully funded health care during a pandemic that they say is going to come back and bite us in the butt with more lockdowns.
Yeah, I'm so over it now. My God, I've been screaming about Medicare for all and healthcare for, years and years and years. And now I'm at a point where I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I don't want anything that you're forcing me into, and I'll be forced to take your meds that you're hand in hand with Big Pharma with. Like, no, thank you. I'll pass. I'll die on my own with no treatment for anything. I'd rather do that.
Yeah. Now, Jimmy, you brought this with Jimmy. Is he talking about Burla here?
Oh, this is so disgusting.
All right.
Okay, we got to be careful with this section. Everybody knows what they did this week with the CDC recommending that this be placed on the child schedule.
But we know vaccines are safe and effective, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Here we go. Jimmy.
So the CDC just approved adding COVID shots
Got
to
this
vaccine
sound
schedules. I think that means for kids. We're going to talk about that in another segment. Kids are at almost zero risk from COVID. So why do you think they're doing that?
Right.
And guess what they
This
did
is
right after
YouTube?
that?
No, Jimmy,
Right after that,
that's from
CDC approved
Yeah,
adding
yeah,
COVID
okay.
to the shots for
They didn't grab
vaccine
that from
schedules.
Rockman.
Boom! Pfizer's going to hike up their price of their vaccine. It went from
Here's
$30
Steph.
to $110 to $130 per dose. It's actually working the opposite of how capitalism's supposed to work, right? Because less people are taking the shot now. No, people aren't taking the shots.
That's right.
They have the United States government bought all these millions of doses, and like nobody's taking them, right? So that's just a welfare to big pharma, right? They're just giving them money for vaccines that nobody's taking.
Yep.
And so when the demand goes down, the price is supposed to go down. Demand goes down, they jack the price up. Because you know why? Who pays this? The government and insurance company.
That's who enriches Big Pharma is the government, and has for many, many years.
And here, the campaigning, I want to point this out again. The midterms is November 8th. We've got Marilyn Strickland up here in Tacoma, and they are saying in those commercials that Marilyn Strickland passed a bill that will cap insulin at $35. Marilyn,
They say that every time.
They're
Every one of those
lying.
ads
She
has
did not do
lies
that.
and says that. I know. I live with a diabetic, and his insulin is $380 a freaking vial, and
Yeah.
that is for the cheapest one.
is
Like,
that one of
no.
those things that is going to be capped in 2025? Or something? I don't know what the hell's going on.
Just like they're giving you student debt relief.
This
They lie.
to me, there should be truth in campaigning, much less truth in media.
There was supposed to be, right? We used to have these laws, and no,
Yeah.
we don't do that anymore.
I'm sorry I interrupted your segment. What is this?
Oh, so this is what I just talked about. The CDC has a panel voted 15-0 to add COVID vaccinations to the Vaccines for Child program. Tomorrow they will move to vote to the child. I can't see it. It's to schedule it, and they did vote. So here's the names. We've had a lot of brothers and sisters cover this topic. Ryan Christensen, the Last American Vagabond.
Ryan
He's
Christian?
done an amazing
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
Yes, he always does a great job. I mean, there's just so many people. I can sit here and list off. Go to Rockfin if you haven't heard about this. I'm sure everybody's heard about it. But here's the names if you want to email. And I know Sister Amber's got these names up on her Twitter. If you want to go look at them, email them. We just okay, they did this to us, and we're not going to say anything.
Yeah,
we're
let
not
them
happy
have it.
about it. Let them have it.
Let them have it.
That's
Stand up these congressional
the only thing we have.
When these congressional reps go to these town halls physically, see, our congressional rep down here never would. They'd always do it
No, the
video.
I'm in the
gutless.
biggest fight right now because I did that candidate forum, and the candidates didn't want to show up, and it's just they won't come. They're cheap and
hiding
shit.
behind a
They're hiding,
camera
yeah.
in their sanctum, their inner sanctum, and they should not unless it's a lockdown situation, which they would, make happen.
We're not locked down anymore, but they're all still doing Zoom.
They should have to meet the public. They should not be able to do it because, to me, that's a form of fascism in itself. That's hiding behind, the podium. They should be out there.
Well,
with
and
the
even
people.
when they do show up, they're protected. The League of Women Voters protects them. They don't have to answer any tough
What a shame.
questions.
What a shame.
You're not allowed to put pressure on them for anything. You're not allowed to picket them outside or do any of
that's
the things
gotta
that
end.
we have been taught to do
That's
to
gotta
push
end.
back against our elected
That's got to
representatives.
end. We got to get some courage, and we have to stand up for ourselves, and get in their face. Albeit, be as. And I'm not the arbiter of politeness either, but be reasonable, because it does great. And you're out there and people are watching you, and you are setting the example of how you should approach these lying politicians. So if you go out there just screaming and cussing at them, you're not going to make a good impression on those who may
you got to hit them with facts.
Yeah, they may be
facts,
willing
facts.
to side with you if you're reasonable, you're cogent, you bring the facts, and tell them exactly what they're doing wrong, and that's not why you voted for them. Just, be adults in the room. Be more adults than they are. That's all I'm saying. So we got JP here. JP.
Where are we?
JP Spears.
Okay, there we go.
Now, are we there?
Yeah, we're there.
Okay, let's fire it away.
Dr. Anthony Fauci, we're at the eve of your retirement, and you've undoubtedly served the American people impeccably for many decades. You're the highest paid government employee. It's weird.
Yeah, it's better.
Don't you think? Super weird. And I think there's no doubt that you have single-handedly saved the lives of every single living American over the past 2 years of our worldwide scare because of your leadership.
I didn't put it in.
I was
didn't know where it came from.
misleading people. I know, but I think that's just part of good, effective leadership. However, it seems like the whole house of cards is crumbling. As I'm sure you know, at the recent EU hearings, Pfizer admitted that they never tested their treatment to see if it stops transmission.
And that's why.
The very treatment that you heavily promoted as the main way to stop transmission. And I'm curious.
And I want to run this back and play it again. Remember, listen to this.
Treatment to see if it stops transmission. As I'm sure you know, at the recent EU hearings, Pfizer admitted that they never tested their treatment to see if it stops transmission.
But let's give it to kids.
Yeah. Pfizer
let's
admitted.
demand that all.
Shanda froze. Look at that phrase. Everybody, screen cap her. Take a picture of Shanda with that pose. When she comes back, we can show it to her. It must be almost 8 o'clock because that's when her hub goes down. I am going to back us out of here and go to the next slide while she's getting reconfigured. And we have, nobody said you wouldn't get if you're vaccinated. Dr. Anthony Fauci, President Joe Biden, Rochelle Walensky, Rachel Maddow. What qualifies her to say? Bill Gates. What qualifies him to say that? Albert Bollard, CEO Pfizer. Well, of course, Albert. Of course, because you're making the money. How's everybody doing over there in that chat? Let me see. I want to shout out anybody I missed. Redneck. Hi, Stevie. How you doing? Good to see ya. And let's see who else is in here tonight. God, we got a pretty good house going tonight. Nice and small. That's what we like. Oh, Sex Chat. Sex Chat came in. Wrong show, Sex Chat. I don't. Well, I'm older, so I guess it's okay. Choosy Heretics. Choose Carnation Revolution. Oh, gosh. Yona. Hey, Yona, how are you? Marby Dog, good to see you. Good to see you. I'm just giving Shanda some time to punch back in. She's got to hit that clock when the internet goes down. Free Thinker 59 over on Finn. Jim. Amber, you just gave me something to put in there. Let me see. Thomas Bussy. Did I say that right, Thomas? Is it Thomas Bussy or Bussy? Well, I like to get names right when I can. Amber King. Let me go over there and see what Amber has got for me. Maybe I can slip it into the deck. She did screen capture it. It's all... That's what happens when Chanda freezes. Thank you. Thank you. We got Bill Gates up here. Bill Gates, it's okay. Relax. I'm a computer software designer. And is he actually giving a vaccine or polio drop? What does he give? Amber, what's Bill Gates giving that little baby? Just out of curiosity. Come on, Chanda. She's coming back. I want to... this one, Shanda's going to have to talk about. This is Shama Sawant. Let me run it down here a little ways. And I want to play this one, give Chanda a little bit more time to come back in.
I have no upload.
You're back, though.
I have no upload. For some reason, my video won't come in.
Okay, I kind of see you there. Hold on. Let me see what I can do for you. I'm going to see if I can find it here. Where is it?
No, I have no upload speed.
Did you reload it?
Yeah, I just ran a test and literally it won't even show me my upload because it just errors out.
It doesn't like you.
Nope, we have absolutely no upload speed right now.
They must have heard what we're talking about.
Something punked me.
Something punked you. I am going to run the Sabrina Savati segment right now so people can listen to that. We have Sabrina Sabby Says, and I'm going to bring this over here right now. Sabby has, thanks to you guys, let me get my card out of there. She's jumped up a couple of grand there on Sabs, and I'm going to give credit to a lot of you guys for promoting Sabrina. She did a little piece on Hedges, Chris Hedges and Gabor Mate, trauma and AOC, but we're going to let her go off on the trauma in children. I thought this was a very interesting perspective, and I want to thank Sabrina. If you haven't, please go over there and subscribe. Sabby Sab's podcast. She's moving up, and I believe Sabby is an excellent voice that we need out there. So let's get Sabby up there with the breaking points a la the Hill people and pass them, because she does 10 times the job they do. Here we go.
There tend to be this rule of thumb in public education where there are the bad apples and there are students that are just not fixable. There are students that they refer to them as a lost cause, right? So I've encountered those students. And the first time, I remember when I was doing my observations, I didn't like that those students were referred to as a lost cause. And when I say they, I mean the teachers that were teaching them referred to them as a lost cause. Not to help them. They would tell you, don't waste your time on them. And I never thought that was right. And I noticed, like, with talking to those particular students, I don't think it was that they were a lost cause. What I did notice, though, it seems like nobody tried to take the opportunity to get to know those students, to find out what is going on in their life at home. So they just brushed them off. So these were particularly students that sometimes in class would have violent outbursts, would hit other students just for no reason. There was one kid I'll never forget. He used to just get up and just hit others, like just punch people for no reason, right? And so those were the students that they would just write off. Instead of trying to talk to those students to figure out where is the anger coming from. And you know what I found out? In some of those instances, these kids were raising themselves. So this was an elementary school that I was doing observations at. But the teachers who were teaching them didn't take the time to get to know these students. Because if they took the time to get to know them, then they would have known some of these kids in elementary school were raising themselves because the parent wasn't there. The parent was working 2 jobs. They had a single parent household, or for some of them, their parents had checked out. And by that, I mean, may have been on drugs. Sometimes they'd come home, sometimes they wouldn't. Some of the kids were abused, physically abused, sexually abused, abandoned, just forgotten about. But nobody knew that because they didn't take the time to get to know them like I did. And so you have to wonder what it could be like for a child who's going through that every day, whether it's physical abuse, whether it's emotional abuse, or whether they have a parent that just checked out. So there's no one there to cook dinner for them or anything. Some of these kids were eating like top ramen. They were eating top ramen. Like that was their dinner because mom or dad wasn't there to cook dinner for them. Imagine being a kid and just feeling abandoned, just left alone. So for some of the students in the class that had those like violent like outbursts or that anger, it was almost like that was their way of crying out for the parent that was supposed to be there to protect them and to raise them and help them. And because kids are so small and kids are not, a figure of authority, a lot of times kids feel that their voice is not going to be heard to an authority figure. So sometimes what they will do is they will cry out to one of their peers. So the punch that student A just delivered to student B was not really for student B. It was for the parent who was missing. And these are the kind of things that you need. You have to get to know them, to sit down and get to know them. And maybe it's just that I wasn't grading them. So maybe that's why they would open up to me. They knew with me there was no risk. I wasn't going to give you a bad grade. I wasn't going to send you to the principal's office.
Now, I brought this for a couple of reasons, Chanda. One of them is that we've become a society where we try and dispose of people.
Yep.
I mean, the mayor of Portland's trying to do a major sweep and just sweep all the homeless people.
Oh, Wheeler. Yeah.
Yeah, all the homeless people. Where are you going to put them? Are you just sweeping them out of the area? What are you going to do with these people?
Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're putting these big galvanized plot planners. I've seen them all over. But, this really...
Yeah,
it really resonated with me, this Savvy talking about this, because I grew up in that broken home, that was eating top ramen for dinner and, mom was working
or worse.
Worse. And what she's saying is kids are smart and they learn really quickly that people weaponize anything that you give them, right? So if a kid opens up about his home life, that could be weaponized against him. Next thing he knows, he's in CPS. He never sees his parents again.
Right.
I mean, kids are smart, man. They know that these are the consequences. And yeah, sadly, we are a throwaway society, and our public schooling is just getting so much worse. And that's where these problem
by
kids
design,
end up, right? And they're cutting the alternative schools. They're cutting the art programs that a lot of these kids, it always seems like you're blessed with one thing, right? You either get smarts or you get arts, I know that's the way it is with my kids. And you need to cater to what that kid's interests are. And we don't do that anymore. We just shove everybody into a standardized testing, make the most money per head, per child that they can for the school and get them through as fast as you can.
Yeah, and this is by design. This
by design. Yeah.
And we cannot keep doing this as a society with our children, because education was supposed to help them flourish and grow and understand things.
No,
now,
it was not. It was to put them in the corporate state and make them work for the machine.
Right. That's what they want. This is modern day slavery is what they're doing. And they want these children dumbed down as much as possible, because if you educate them too much, as you all know, they're going to be a problem when things start happening that aren't in the best interest of their lives.
We're already fucked though, Oz.
I know.
We're already fucked. Look at what other countries, look at how China educates its children.
I know.
They're so intelligent compared to what our kids are offered. And what does that look like 20, 30, 50 fucking years from now? China knows what it looks like.
We're done.
And we're just stupid. We're just stupid and arrogant and thinking that we can bamboozle our way to be the most powerful and stay the most powerful by not educating the base of our people.
Yeah. This has got to end, everybody, because we have to have a healthy society all the way around. We can't just focus on one thing and not take care of another. It's got to be we have to be in solidarity, helping the homeless, helping people get health care, helping people be diplomatic in these times of imperialism and war. We have to find ways to do that. And when I throw up we need an international strike, we need to, do mutual aid. Yes, we do. Argue me and convince me otherwise. You're not going to make it happen, because the system we have now to bring our country to another level of consciousness as far as being productive and taking care of the planet and avoiding these catastrophic climate things, we're going to get wiped. It's like the worst science fiction movie you ever saw. Anyway, Sabrina Salvati, if you have not subscribed to her, please go over there, add to her numbers. Let's get her voice up there, because I'll tell you something. It'll be better to have her voice up there than 535 members of Congress, what's coming out of their pie holes. I want Sabrina and others like Sabrina, their voices out there, inspiring and encouraging us to do the right thing for our society. You talk about one that inspires. This is Shama Sawant.
Right. And, I've interviewed Shama. I know Shama. This is fucking terrible. She's had this happen to her for as long as I've known her. The Republicans hate her. They attack her. The liberals hate her. They attack her. So the city council member, Shama Sawant, wrote a letter to officials claiming that the Seattle Police Department was failing to investigate several escalating threats made against her, including feces being thrown at her home repeatedly. Sawant says feces thrown at her home repeatedly and claims that they won't do anything. So I know this to be true. I've seen it. I have never seen the amount of visceral hate ever. And that is through all of the years of Trump and all of the years of, hating the Democrats, as what Shama takes. And for her to go after the police like this, I know she feels threatened. She lives in a very small, modest home in Seattle with lots of neighbors in a regular Seattle neighborhood. Very easy access for anybody in the public to know where she is, to know, to go to her house. And there is a petition online. I have tweeted it out. Thank you, Vic, for tagging me in this. And please go add your name to it. I don't think you have to live in the area, but this is saying, hey, to the police department, let's start investigating some of this shit. These are threats. But Shama, stop with the right wing. It's always right wing. It's always right wing, right? I
don't believe it.
I know she knows better. I know she knows it's the system, right? And in Seattle, fuck it, they're one and the same. They're all attacking her. I watched the Democratic City Hall attack her,
It's not it's the duopoly colluding together to take out somebody that has really stood up for the public. So please.
The working people, unions, and that.
Yeah.
So please head over there, support it. I know I haven't always agreed with everything Shama's done, especially the last couple of years. We've lost a lot of people to different narratives, and so it is. Yeah. But I still support her getting out there and organizing labor.
And you brought fentanyl in Skittles packages.
Oh, this story just made me mad. So okay. LA, they've had a lot of teen deaths due to fentanyl. I think Beverly Hills High lost 7 kids during spring break, all to one batch of fentanyl. So they're hyper focused on it. And this fucking narrative that the drug dealers are making it candy colored because they want to sell it to kids is just insane. That is not why they're making it candy colored. Candy colors happens to be the same color that pharmaceutical pills come in. So they're making it the same color as pharmaceuticals so they can bamboozle people into thinking they're buying the real thing, not fucking candy. But are they putting it in candy packages to transport it? Oh, yeah. They think cops are stupid and not going to look. So, of course they are. So, yeah, here's a bust at, I want to say LAX.
Drug task force agents make a huge bust at LAX after a suspect tries to smuggle an estimated 12,000 fentanyl pills through security stashed inside several candy boxes. The suspect who tried to smuggle the potentially deadly drugs fled the scene before being detained.
But federal agents say they've identified the drug runner and now they're conducting a full investigation. KTLA's Pedro Rivera has the latest.
Skittles, Sweet Tarts, and Whoppers. They look innocent enough on the outside of the bag, but inside of these packages, DEA and LA County Sheriff Narcotic Bureau detectives uncovered no sweets at all.
Time-wise?
12,000 suspected
We lost me
fentanyl
for 20
pills.
minutes.
It is definitely a big concern.
According to LA County
Yeah, we'll
Sheriff
end up
Deputy
cutting a few
Michael Chen,
things.
around 7:30 Wednesday morning, a person attempted to board a plane with what they tried to pass off as candy.
However, it was discovered that inside the Sweethearts,
I'm going to pull the
Skittles,
Project Veritas.
and Whoppers candy boxes were fentanyl pills.
According to the CDC, fentanyl is 50 times more potent than heroin. Deputies do not know whether the suspect was just trying to illegally transport the drugs or was planning to sell the drugs in the packaging. But regardless, it is a cause of concern for law enforcement agencies with Halloween fast approaching.
Parents need to make sure that they are checking their kids' candy
Oh, my God.
and not allowing them to eat anything until it has been inspected by them.
In August, the Drug Enforcement Administration warned of rainbow fentanyl. Since that announcement, law enforcement agencies have seized hundreds of thousands of pills, including in Pasadena, where police in September seized several packages of the candy-colored pills. This comes at a time when the Los Angeles area has seen its fair share of fentanyl-related overdoses recently. In September alone, 9 students have overdosed across the LA Unified School District, some fatal. It's why deputies are asking parents to be extra vigilant.
There you go.
That just pisses me off. That just pisses me off because I promise you, nobody is passing out fentanyl to kids for Halloween. They're trying to make money, and you don't make money off dead kids. I mean,
No, I think
that narrative is just stupid and irresponsible.
I think that there may be some drop some in just to gin up the fear of this so they can have their narrative.
That's an urban legend. That is a fucking myth that people put razor blades, anything in candy. You can go look it up. That has been hyped up over the years.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of different reasons for it.
I honestly, when I was a kid, there were some isolated instances where
You
they
think
did
that,
shitty.
but I'm telling you, it's all urban legend.
I'm older than you, young lady.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, we all got told those stories. I mean, I grew up in the 70s, and oh my God, the razor blade and candies, and it just never, ever was true.
Do you think it's a bad idea to inspect your kids' candy these days?
No, and I always inspected my kids'
I don't
candy,
think you
and I
would.
made
No,
sure
yeah.
I took the best of what I wanted out. And then
Ate
gave
it
back
yourself.
to 'em.
All right.
I remember one time I was hiding behind the kitchen counter eating the kids' Halloween candy. They were like, "Mom, what are you doing?"
Good mommy. Good mommy.
Not
Good
bad.
mommy. Hey,
Did you see this? Dude, he got hacked.
Is this real? Is this real?
I believe so. I think his website went down. Yeah,
It
yeah.
was his
It wasn't
website.
the show.
It
It was his
wasn't on
website.
YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it wasn't YouTube. It was
Why
his
would
website.
anybody hack poor Jimmy Dore?
You gotta know. Go figure. Go figure.
Oh my God! What's this? This is Bob.
This is Bob. This is Bob, and this is Shell. Bob gets $1,500 a year in food stamps to help feed his family. Shell gets $2 billion a year in subsidies granted by the government because it has excellent lobbyists. It's time to shut the fuck up about Bob.
Yeah, let's shut the fuck up about Bob. We've got a yum yum coming up that'll put it into perspective for everybody. Did I bring this?
I did. Did you see this? American Airlines is ditching first class for all flights because customers simply aren't buying it.
God, we do think alike. I swear I was going to bring that. So, yeah. Ditching first.
American sucks anyways. The last time I flew American, I was like, I'll never fly American
I
again.
quit, yeah, I quit flying a long time ago.
But they all suck. There's no customer service anywhere, anyhow, anyway, anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Anywhere.
They're worse than a concession stand at a ball game. If you want something to eat on there, it costs like $20 for a bag of peanuts.
And then they don't even bring it to you.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered, and when she came to me, she was like, "What would you like?" And I was like, "What we ordered?" She's like, "Oh, well, I don't have any of that. I'm out. How about you take a recliner?" And I'm like, "I don't know what you're saying. What the fuck is that?" Like, I'm mad. I need to email them and be like, you know what? Don't offer people to pre-order if you're not even going to bother to put it on the damn plane, or you're going to sell it to somebody else.
It's just because Amber was sitting next to you. They were trying to torture you.
I know. Amber's the bad luck.
It's your fault, Amber. Your
Damn
fault.
it, I didn't get my cheese. Because I love to eat cheese on plates.
Now, this was a little controversial for you this week, right?
Controversial for me? Hell no. I've been telling you all about chemtrails for 20 damn years. And you want to go back up one?
Yeah, sorry.
There you go. And now they're saying, officially want to spray particulates into the stratosphere to limit the sunlight hitting Earth, but it could cost $10 billion a year. So what happened is they've been doing this for many freaking years, and they've been doing it by secretly funding it with off black funding. And now they're like, oh, well, screw this. Let's just get public funding for this. That way we can get more money and just say what we're saving the environment. They've already been doing this shit. We know, we have the proof. We have the water test. We have the soil test that prove that they've been putting this shit in the air and it's been falling back down on the earth. I mean, look up over the sky. Maybe it's because I live on the Pacific coast, right where the weather starts.
Yeah, they're
is where
practicing
I see
on
it.
you, yeah.
Well, no, I think that they start the stream here. The jet stream starts here, right? And it washes over the whole United States. So I think I've been seeing it so prevalent because I live right under where they do it the most.
Yeah.
But I see it everywhere. I see it everywhere.
Now you're playing in Sister Amber's main sandbox with this one. If you didn't see Brave New Future last night and you want to get cheered up,
I'm bummed I didn't get to see it. I was busy with something
it was
else.
a great show. She was talking about how AI are getting the Bill of Rights that we used to have.
Oh, I knew that. And we didn't talk to Ben Gertzel, Amber. What the hell?
Yeah. What the hell, man?
What the hell?
Anyway, check out Brave New Future. Sister Amber's out there, and I believe she's on Rumble and on Rockfin now, and plus a bunch of other channels. This is, this guy looks like Gavin Newsom, but it's not him, right?
No, but this is an excellent interview over on Inspired. Great interview about geoengineering and weather control with one of the foremost people who knows about this shit.
You mean he's an actual scientist, or is he a storm chaser, or what?
I don't know exactly all his credentials, but I know he's been in it for like 25 years, and he runs the best geoengineering website out there for information.
There's got to be credit for that.
People are, I think, becoming more and more familiar with the term chemtrails. This has been something out there, and it's been pushed, and I think it's not something that people consider just a conspiracy theory anymore. But geoengineering and climate engineering is so much more than this one phenomenon. What are the key elements of geoengineering, and who are the key perpetrators?
Let me back into that question, John, if I can. As far as the source, the entities behind these programs, ultimately all roads lead back to the central bankers, those who print as much as they want for whatever they want. They control militaries, thus they control countries, thus they control programs like this. So again, all roads lead back to that source. As far as the various aspects of climate engineering, at this point, we can say definitively there is no natural weather on planet Earth. Once you intervene with the climate system at any significant level, you derail the whole system. And in this case, we have the entire planet being subjected to these operations. So we can't truly know what the planet's equilibrium might be if these programs were brought to a halt. And the devastating effects they're causing are so multi-layered. They're not only contaminating all our soils and waters, these toxic elements that are now in the rain are killing soil microbiome, they're affecting root systems, that kills the trees from the bottom up. They're also destroying the ozone layer. John, have you felt the intensity of the sun, John, on your skin when you're in open air without any obstruction?
It varies greatly, actually. It's funny you should ask that. We're here in Florida currently, And there are days where it's extremely intense, that's so intense that I almost can't stand it. And there are days where the intensity is almost completely gone. And they oftentimes, there's no explanation for that in my perception.
But your observations are exactly correct, because the diminishment of the ozone layer is not uniform. It waxes and wanes. So you would have days where it feels much more intense than other days. But overall, the ozone layer is unraveling very rapidly. Single greatest source of ozone layer damage is climate engineering. And that by itself, if we had no other threats, that by itself is an immediate near-term existential threat. In Northern California, the intensity is almost constant. It's literally frying the bark off of trees from tip to trunk on the sun-exposed side. It's frying foliage, it's killing insects, it's killing plankton. We've recently got peer-reviewed study from the Atlantic on plankton populations now down 90%.
I don't think there's much to argue with that dude on.
Well, so they're blaming this all on climate change, right? Those people will blame it on climate change. Well, yeah, the plankton's dying because of climate change, and that's why we've got to do something. We got to act fast. But we have been geoengineering for many, many, many years, and it didn't work. All they did was speed us along.
I thought
what I see.
I thought the ozone layer was good to go.
They want you to believe that the ozone layer has fixed itself. But I mean, to look around, 70% of the world's species are dying off. I mean, we all just lived through the hottest summer on record. We're going to go through the craziest winter we ever seen after the craziest winter we have already ever seen.
What happened to the mass crab die-off? I didn't get into that story this week.
We're having mass die-offs. The snow crabs. I live in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, you know how many people I know whose livelihood is based on fishing for snow crab?
Not anymore.
I mean, half of our town would take off and go to Alaska to do deep water fishing, and now they can't. I mean, we've killed it all. And if you want to call me a conspiracy theory about geoengineering, it just tells me that you're uneducated. You haven't looked into it. You haven't listened to the testimony before our own fucking Congress, where they admitted it many years ago. You're not looking at the scientists that are proving what they're putting into the atmosphere, what is falling back on ourselves and our crops. And, you're not paying attention. It tells me that you're naive if you say I'm a conspiracy theorist.
And prove us wrong, please. And by the way, while you're proving us wrong, check out Brave New Future, because Sister Amber, she already went over that. Yeah. It's old news. It is. So,
right. The ozone layer blocks UV rays, so it is different than the temperature, but it's burning up, right? And it's not able to block the UV rays. And what he is saying is, when you're sitting directly in the sun nowadays, doesn't it feel hotter? Doesn't it feel more intense than it ever did? Because it is.
Yeah, it is. So what did you bring here? What is this? Is this,
this is the Nobel Prize winner. This one will break your brain. So the universe is not locally real. So go ahead.
Oh, great. I knew we were living in a real thing. Is there supposed to be sound here?
There will be.
It's not real. Oh, there is hope.
The universe is not locally real.
And this year's Nobel Prize in Physics has been awarded to Alana Spey, John Clauser, and Anton Zeilinger, whose collective works have carried out that test, establishing to most people's satisfaction that Einstein's conventional view of reality is ruled out, that quantum entanglement is real, and more than that, have shown that quantum mechanics and entanglement can be leveraged for applications ranging from quantum computing to quantum teleportation. Spectacular results that have both changed our view of reality and whose technological implications are both exciting and profound. Quantum entanglement. Briefly put, Einstein and his colleagues found that, according to the math of quantum mechanics, if two objects interact and then widely separate, a subsequent measurement on one of those objects, revealing one or another quality, would have an instantaneous influence on the other object, regardless of the distance between them.
Einstein called this strange quantum connection. He called it spooky.
Only we would notice that.
Spooky action at a distance. And it troubled him deeply. His straightforward, intuitive belief was that widely separated objects are independent of one another. But quantum entanglement seemingly denied that by providing an invisible quantum connection capable of linking the distant objects together, or, as the name says, entangling them. Einstein could not accept this quantum view of reality.
You know, I'm going to call out Sister Amber again. Can you do a segment on that, Sister Amber? Because I can hear her right now.
Oh, quantum entanglement?
Yeah, so quantum physics is always.
I'm always interested in quantum physics.
There you go. Quit using my brain. It's my turn. What the hell? What the hell? What is this? What is this about? We're moving right along.
Well, everybody's got to talk about Kanye, right? Because he's just doing shit left and right. He's buying parlor. He's, you know what he did today? He hired Camille Vasquez, Johnny Depp's attorney. You know, the little hotshot Latina one.
Oh, yeah?
He hired her, but we don't know for what case because, of course, he's being sued, much like the Sandy Hook case, by the George Floyd family for the whole George Floyd thing. But then he's got his divorce with Kim K that's kind of ran off the rails, and that could end up into a big time thing. And now he's after Soros, and he might have info on Clinton. He did hang out with them for a while, so he probably does have some insight on those people.
Let's see what's going on. Is this your friend?
Salty.
Ooh, lads, I'm thinking we might be
It is
seeing some memes in the future about Kanye West having information on the Clintons, and I don't want to see that. I'm sitting there going, oh no. Every time I see somebody going up against lizard people like Hillary Clinton, they end up suicided, boys, hanging from a tree with the noose, with 13 shots to their stomach, 2 shots to the back of the head, and they set on fire. But don't question it. It's definitely suicide. If you question it, it's probably anti-Semitic, and so we'll arrest you. That's usually the treatment that you get when you question any of these high-ranking lizard people like the Clintons, which he's been doing. And now add to that mix, holy balls, George Soros. Oh no, this dude's definitely, he played with fire. Let's see how this plays out, because it's extraordinarily interesting to watch somebody who was part of the machine, part of the establishment, deviating from it, and then speaking out and then getting attacked. I mean, listen, whether you agree with Kanye West, with what he's saying, whether you disagree, you have to acknowledge that every single person within Hollywood, every person who's at least speaking out loud on Twitter or Instagram or TikTok or any of these platforms, they're all regurgitating the same exact left-wing nonsense.
Yep.
The same exact. It's verbatim. It's like a script was written for them. And so they're on board with open borders. They're on board with forcing people into experimental injections. They're on board with drag weirdos being around your kid. They're on board with every single plank of the left-wing ideology, and then they tell everybody how stunning and brave they are. You risk nothing by what you're saying. Everything that you're saying gets you these stupid, empty, these claps, golf claps, and then you never lose anything. Nothing ever happens to you, and nobody ever deviates from any of those talking points. Nobody wears an American flag shirt. Nobody, no. They all know better. And so Kanye West is saying, well, that's organized. That's structured. Now, he says it's the Jewish media. I say it's the globalist media. But here he's now calling out George Soros, and he's saying George Soros is the one who's funding all of the Jewish media that's canceling him, and the rappers that are being sent to shut him down.
I'm kind of in agreement with Salty on that.
Yeah, Ye better be careful. He might get suicided. You know, he's out there pissing off some people. And
God, yeah, they're doing
this is my favorite reface I've ever done on you, and you hate it, but I love it.
God, I look like Waldo.
Where's Waldo? So if you ever feel like a waste of sperm, these people paid money to look at invisible art.
You know, I prefer this over your friend that does the blood paintings and the guts paintings.
Maria Abramovich.
Oh my
yeah,
God in heaven! I can't believe
that woman. Oh my God!
You got a memeology here. Is this a Family Guy or what the hell?
I don't know. I just left a note to myself that says, "Canada, you're fucked." So.
Okay, Canada, you're fucked.
Canada,
by the way,
you're fucked.
Yeah. Well, they were already fucked because they got David Dole up there. So. Yeah.
a piece of a large puzzle that counteracts crime. But by making guns something that we can track, I mean, the fear in here is that the first step towards registering your guns is just the first step towards taking away guns from everyone. That's never going to happen because here in Canada, we have a culture that has grown up with guns and that respects the need to go out into the wilderness and shoot things from time to time. It's part of the
Why is he wearing a purse?
Why?
I don't know. Why?
People can no longer buy and sell or transfer handguns within Canada. They cannot bring newly acquired handguns into the country. But.
You are fucked.
What did he say in 210? It never happened, right?
Yeah, no, that would never happen in Canada. We are a country that was built on going out in the wood and killing things. Yeah.
You know, I've heard so much of that would never happen here in the last 4 or 5 years that it's kind of like normal. So
it's all of it. That's exactly how we do it. We slip. It's a slippery slope.
What do you have the super twins here upside down for?
Well, I'm glad somebody put them upside down, but just Republicans by another name is all I'm going to say.
That's Mika and Joey, right?
Oh, yeah.
When you have cops quitting left and right in Philadelphia because they don't feel like, they're not going to risk their lives so they can arrest people who are going to be out on the street the next day. And then you have progressives telling people in Philadelphia, telling these people, oh, you're wrong. Don't believe your lying eyes. Don't believe the fact. There's something wrong for you for being afraid to go to work. There's something wrong with you for being afraid to go home, as they were talking about right there. It is just really progressives on crime in places like Philadelphia and New York are so extraordinarily clueless.
Some people think it could be proof of a parallel universe.
What the fuck is going on here?
Well, if I were him, I wouldn't talk. Wasn't he the congressman that had the dead body in his office?
Yeah, the dead bodies show up in his office, the dead aide, right?
Yeah,
but
congressional aide, yeah. Not so much, Joey.
They're just Republicans. For him to say progressives are... How many times a week does he call himself a progressive? And then now he's spouting two progressives.
That's a co-opted term, I got to tell you.
It's such a co-opted term.
Well, the yum hit it out of the park again this week. President Joe Biden 2023 tax revenue plan. Well, if you see the chart in front of Biden's tank, 5% goes to the peasants, non-discretionary or non-defense discretionary spending. 14%. What's that for, Chanda? Limo service, and then
non-discretionary.
Defense discretionary is 11%, and then Ukraine infrastructure and weapons 17% of the 70% of the. That's what it seems like. Anyway, the good thing is the military-industrial complex is applauding this move by the Biden administration, and
of course they are.
This is the yum. So remember, it's satire.
Do we have a party that pushes back on any of the military-industrial complex or any of the three-letter agencies? Or no, they just throw money at them, as much money as they ask for.
I saw a figure, and this is easily searchable. I didn't do it, but I saw on the tax revenue for this country in 2019 was 6,550 billions.
Yeah.
Billions, not billion, billions.
But we can't fix our roads or our schools or do anything.
Yeah, and that's
healthcare.
If you're slow on math like I am, that's they put billion in there instead of what it actually is 6.5 trillion. So they're taking that 6.5 trillion of tax revenue, if I am correct, which might not be, and they're giving it to everywhere except for the little 5% peasants. They're sending it to Ukraine. They're giving it to the military-industrial complex, all this stuff. And again, when it comes to matter of healthcare and war, don't ask for my vote if you aren't for diplomacy or you're not for universal health care, because you ain't going to get it. Ever. And they're going to say, but Oz, you're just giving the vote to the other side. No, I'm not. I've had it. I'm mad as hell. I ain't going to take it no more. So what do we got here?
Oh, Tay-Tay. Tay Lorenz.
No, not again.
Formerly of the New York Times, is being sued for her shoddy reporting and fact checking. And this is a real lawsuit that the New York Times is having to deal with because of her bullshit reporting.
Somebody finally caught up with her, huh?
Yeah.
This is not a Julian Assange situation. This is knowingly.
Because we have someone here who is suing Taylor and the New York Times, which is not an easy thing to do. So happy to have Ariadna Jacob here. How are you doing, Ari?
I'm doing really well. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, welcome to the show. Look, there's a lot to break down. For those that don't know, this is an important story that you hear to get her side of this, because Taylor and obviously the mainstream media are pointing in another way. But I wanted to bring Ari on here to share her side of this case and why she's suing and why the case is not actually dismissed, which is what Taylor and others are putting out there. Let's go back if we can, Ari. I want to go through. Here's Ari on Twitter. You can follow her and get updates on this as we go. But this is the article in question. So in the New York Times, back in what was the date on this? This was August of 2020. Published this article about basically slamming you. Taylor wrote this article as sort of an expose about a TikTok house that was with influencers managed by Ari. And correct me if I'm wrong, Ari, but some serious allegations were leveled against you in this piece, basically saying you weren't paying these people, they weren't getting their opportunities that they were promised, they were not getting the brand deals that they were supposed to get, you were secretly filming them, you actually apparently leaked nudes for revenge against one of them, where you were leaving these girls in houses without electricity and water during the pandemic. It's a really nasty read. The people you knew, Gary, he's a big guy in this space. What's his name? Gary V. You're just using him. You don't have actually any, access to him, etc. A lot of really bold claims that clearly did not help your career moving forward. Have I summed it up correctly?
Yeah.
Now, was any of this true?
No, I mean, not even. I think Taylor has a mixture here of things that are completely false and things that imply negative things that were not true.
Now, I know you're in current litigation, so I know you got to be careful probably on certain things you say, and I appreciate you being here because there's a lot to break.
A lot to break down.
I am so glad that somebody is suing the New York Times for her bullshit. I mean, how many times have we brought reports where she never checked her sources? I mean, she did this to lawsuits.
She's not the only one over at the New York Times. She's not the only one at the New York Times, for sure. And I did have a James O'Keefe clip where he was on the phone fact-checking their asses, too, for an article they wrote yesterday or the day before. They need to be held responsible for the shoddy reporting that they're doing. Shittier and shittier. I don't know who was talking about the Rolling Stone. That used to be the magazine to go to.
Oh, they are such shit anymore.
Horrible.
I know.
Horrible.
They used to have some good writers back in the day,
What do we got this? Be ready for the collapse? What are we going to collapse?
Oh, these are a bunch of stores that are closing. So say goodbye to Michael's, Bloomingdale's, a Guitar Center, and maybe Goodwill.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. I think I missed a slide. We'll watch this and we'll go back.
That's okay, because we're running out of time. So we're good.
Goodwill. The non-profit thrift store has seen better days. We have had to make difficult decisions for economic reasons. Explained
Well, they ran them into the ground.
President
What they
and
did.
CEO of Goodwill Industries of the Greater East Bay. After the pandemic hit,
not
customers
Wawa.
started to get understandably wary of second-hand items, and the chain saw sales collapse overnight. As a result, it's still laying off employees, closing dozens of locations along the West Coast to rebalance its operations. 18. Michaels.
Well, we
the
saw
arts
that
and
one
crafts
coming.
retailers saw its shares hitting rock bottom last year when earnings reports missed investors' expectations for 6 quarters in a row. Its stocks dropped 65%, and from that point on, the company is barely staying afloat. Even before the health crisis, Michaels faced years of declining sales. Now, its survival is being threatened by larger players such as Amazon or discounters such as Walmart and Dollar Tree. 19. Bloomingdale's.
Yay.
The higher-end store chain was founded in 1861 by the Bloomingdale brothers, and in 1995, the company was acquired by Macy's. From that point on, the fall of the department store has only accelerated, and the relevance of stores like Bloomingdale's is being put into question. The company is getting replaced by a new store concept to be able to stay in business, and that's according to the Chicago Sun-Times. Macy's is shutting down dozens of Bloomingdale's locations as part of a 3-year plan to improve productivity and as a chance to see if the format of its stores can actually adapt to the times or not. 20. Guitar
Let's
Center.
cut 48.
Founded in 1959, the country's biggest retailer of musical instruments filed for Chapter 11 restructuring in 2020 in one of the biggest bankruptcies of the year. With a $1.3 billion debt load, the retailer and stakeholders reached a restructuring agreement that slashes its debts by almost $800 million. But the company is not out of the woods yet. Guitar Center has been financially struggling for nearly a decade as it faces challenges to build an online shopping experience to rival other retailers. The current economic downturn is still compounding those problems and forcing the chain to shutter nearly 300 brick-and-mortar locations across the United States.
Well, here's the thing: is they're not the only ones that are going away.
Oh, you know who the number one was on that list? Nordstrom's. Bye-bye.
Nordstrom's used to be the standard to go to for not only ethical but quality. It was the shit.
Yeah. Believe me, as a kid growing up, when you got a Nordy's box from grandma, you were a happy freaking girl. I love Nordy's growing up. This goes out to all of our crones out there, including Crone of Anarchy. The crone is a wise woman, the holy woman, the wisdom keeper, the keeper of wisdom gained through experience and time, the wisdom that cannot be rushed or hurried, but rises up in its own time, in its own place, like the waters of the holy well, the wisdom that is granted by the transforming experience into understanding, the wisdom that is gained moment by moment, breath by breath, and step by step. Crone.
That's very nice, and I know some of those crones.
Yeah, we got a lot of them around us. Exactly why I brought that.
Now, you brought this just as a public service announcement. Nothing new here, right?
Yeah, nothing new. Oakland cops hope to arm robots with lethal shotguns. Why not?
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh my
you got
God.
this. This is a picture of your favorite people.
Yeah, why do serial killers always wear these glasses, though? That's a good question.
God, you know what? The one up there on the left kind of looks like Raymond Reddington glasses. So
that's Dahmer.
Yeah, I don't think that's quite Raymond's forte.
Yeah, no.
We've got this one right here.
Let me catch up with you. Sorry to bust your bubble, but the United States is a corporate dictatorship, not a constitutional republic or democracy. And the false left and right paradigm won't change that.
That wins for meme of the night. That is 1,000% correct. And that is bringing us to
Dance Off.
Dance Off. Now, I
better win tonight.
I promised Chanda would win tonight because it's the winning Dance Off. So get your scorecards out. We're almost out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for sticking around. But this is terrific. I think she did a great job here. Chanda doing her thing on the Dance Off.
Bring it.
Could you be here with me forever, ever, ever? Would you be here with me forever, ever, ever? Waking up all alone ain't better, better, better. Every time I go the wrong way, turn me back around.
Nice
turn me back like whoa, forever, ever, ever, ever. Do you wanna look at me forever, ever, ever? Yeah, do you see us in Vegas pushing that money, Carlo? Bet the money on baby, bet she don't leave me, oh no. See them he wears in the desert, look like a lake in the sand. Would you watch the sun burning on me forever, ever, ever, ever? You feel intimidating me, keep me up on my toes now. Better man, what you made me aware what I was missing. Been missing I had to myself. I was busy focusing on being by myself. Set my feelings out of sight, I got dusty on the shelf. You wiped them down when I had nothing left. Could you be here with me forever, ever, ever? Would you be here with me forever, ever, ever? We can all alone, it better, better, better.
Nice cover on that song, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a great cover.
Yeah.
Ever.
I think you nailed it. I think that was artistic.
I think I got it.
That was artistic. That was
think I got
great.
it.
Shanda, that looks fantastic.
Your guys' comments, yeah, 18-year-old Chanda, 17-year-old Chanda.
God, I wish I could move that way when I think I could have.
I did. I was a dancer at that age.
I was
so, yeah.
too. I was too, all the way up till 32. And my last dance, of course, was.
I just envision John Travolta when I think of you dancing.
Well, I did. I forgot to tell you. The outgo song tonight, "The Look" by Roxette.
It's such a great
that
concert.
was another one where we got a standing ovation. My girlfriend at the time, when we were at a nightclub.
Doing dance-offs?
Well, we weren't doing
Nice.
dance-offs, but we just kind of took over the dance floor. We were those kind of people. So I loved dancing. It was great.
I know. It
Great.
sucks when you get old, your body breaks down. You can't do it anymore.
I can't even dance in my
But you worked
bathroom.
hard practicing for this one, so I think you might win like you always do.
Yeah, I don't know. But you notice I didn't skimp on the bald head here. So here we go.
Wow. It doesn't put the music. Chanda wins. Aw, thanks, Linda. Are you guys in the pants, man? They crack me up. Pants off, and then despite the pants, I vote for Oz.
Pants. Yeah, Shanda, you got that. I love it. Thanks, Jim. I appreciate that. Yeah. Those do take a little work, but as I've discussed with
They're
Linda, we've
fun.
kind of figured out how to do these, make them much easier now. So.
Oh, good. No, they're fun. We have fun doing them. So.
Yeah, no offense to
I think I did win this one. So,
you did
yeah.
win it. You won that fair and square.
Aw,
And
thanks. My first one since we brought the dance off back.
No offense to the artists. They're very talented individuals, and
oh hell yeah!
I think they're at Twilly TV. Is that where you want to go to see all the great people over there? We have the Stoner Corner tonight.
Stoner Corner. What boys think, what I really think. And I love this. The dangers of marijuana. Beds should look like beds. I ordered this when I was high because I thought it was a giant ice cream sandwich, and it's not. It's a bed. And now I want my $150 ice cream sandwich.
Bad. I could see that happening. I had moments like that. It wasn't with weed, though. And that bed would have got up and eaten me.
That's funny. I could see myself thinking that was a sandwich too.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Here you go.
I love this one. Look at them all. Look at them all waiting for me to upload a meme so they can steal it. That's Shelly almost. I steal so many of her memes. She does such great work with her memes.
Yeah, she does. Abso-freaking-lutely. And it's time for Hollyweird here real quick. We're going to blow through this one. And
got a couple?
You got a couple of Hollyweirds here. What is this first one? Is this Danny Masterson?
Well, so I'm following the Danny Masterson trial, and it's closed court, but we're getting a lot of updates of what's coming out. And one of the witnesses was threatened by the attorney of Scientology. Oh, what just happened? Move it back. There we go. Anyways, just play it. So I got a couple of clips here.
This is unbelievably horrible. Most of you watching already know this, but some of you viewers may not know. In the world of Scientology, it is strictly forbidden to report another Scientologist to the authorities, the criminal authorities, for any reason, no matter what, at any time. And that rule was completely in effect with Danny Masterson and the Scientologist women that he attacked. These women were prevented from going to the authorities. They were admonished not to go to the authorities. And they knew that if they did, they would risk expulsion from Scientology and lose, anyone in their lives that had ever been important to them, including their friends, family, employers, what have you. Despite all of this threat, one of Danny's Scientologist victims went to the police anyway in 2004, went to the LAPD and filed an official report about the attack. This set into motion a series of responses from Scientology's management. It set the wheels in motion, and what she testifies to here is what happened subsequent to her filing that report. More or less, as it was reported, this is the back and forth between the district attorney and the witness, Jane Doe 1. You had some concerns about going to law enforcement. Correct. Despite your concerns, you went anyway. Correct. Were you worried at the time doing that it would trigger the declare order? Yes. The declare order is when Scientology declares you to be a suppressive person, you're expelled, and all the Scientologists have to cut all connection and communication with you. You were worried about all the consequences. Is that correct? Yes. There was a discussion about you getting involved in a non-disclosure agreement. Yes. Who was there? A man named Kendrick Moxon knocked on the door. I recognized him. He was a longtime in-house lawyer for Scientology for a long time, and I had known him. Were you instructed at that time to do anything? Yes. Mr. Moxon handed me a handwritten letter from Danny Masterson and asked me to go outside and read it. And he said he was going to talk to my father about how he would not lose his daughter like Moxon, had lost his daughter. Now, the prosecutor did not dig any further into what she meant by that or what Moxon could have meant by that. And he probably would not have been allowed to even ask about that in this trial at this time because of restrictions that are in place regarding what parts of Scientology can and cannot be discussed.
Okay, so just to kind of speed you up, this is Scientology's main attorney. So basically, they go to this girl who has been allegedly essayed by Danny Masterson, and they tell her, either you can sign a non-disclosure agreement and take this money and shut up, and we won't kick you out of the church and call you a suppressive person and make everybody hate you and ruin your life. Or if you don't, you might have an accident like the attorney's daughter did. And basically, the attorney's daughter committed suicide by grabbing a high voltage freaking power wire and killing herself. But of course, they're not allowed to talk about it because of Scientology. And I brought one more little clip to back this up.
Julian is the ethics officer at one of the main Scientology organizations
he's the
in Los
ethics
Angeles.
officer.
You can either go get your declare issue and your life as you know it is over, or we could have a conversation here and we could work something out. Jumping forward a few minutes in this testimony, the victim, Jane Doe 1, says, Julian Schwartz called me. What was the call about? She says, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. The judge says, go ahead, you can answer. He started off in a normal answer. Hey, do you know why I got a call from the LAPD? How did they get my name? How did they get my number? I told him that I had given his name and number to them. He said, yeah, you're effed. You have no idea how effed you are. This is how Scientology ethics officers speak to Scientologists. This is the authority, this is the altitude that they have, that they can speak to them this way. This is a victim of a violent assault, and this is how a Scientology ethics officer is speaking to her for bringing the matter to the police and giving the ethics officer's name and phone number to the police.
Well, that's shocking.
Well, so it's going to come out in this trial, and parts of it already has, that the police covered and refused to do their work and do their job because they're Scientologists and they get treated special. I report on Scientology all the time, and that is because I want to see it crumble in my lifetime, because it's a multi-level marketing cult is what it is, and they're hurting people. They're killing people. Their numbers have dwindled from 100,000 before the internet to like 30, 35,000 now. People are waking up, and it's reported John Travolta is on his way out.
I wouldn't be surprised. You got one here. I would say the editor of this newspaper got in hot water.
This is great. So Julia Roberts finds life in her holes get better with age.
What the hell? Ouch.
And then it says correction rolls.
And you have, what is this? Is this Dahmer?
Oh my God. So we don't have a lot of time, but I just want to say, stop idolizing these fucking serial killers. There's a whole generation of TikTokers out there that love Jeffrey Dahmer and these serial killers that are still alive and locked up in prison, and they send them love letters and they think they can fix them. I don't know. It's called Bonnie and Clyde syndrome. It's an actual illness, but there has been a super rise of it the last couple of months. What is it about TikTok that just creates these infectious I don't even know what to call them, trends. But anyways, here's a quick clip about people loving Dahmer.
No, you're not quirky, goth, or impressive if you were unbothered by the Dahmer series. And no, it isn't cute if you only wished it showed more gory detail. Seriously, it isn't some flex to lack empathy for people being brutally murdered. It's just wildly concerning. So, to all the women out there raising their hands in solidarity of being unbothered, cut the I'm so special crap today. Dahmer primarily killed black gay men, so he would have to kill white women for you to care? How many until you get bothered, huh? How about get some help? This isn't about you. Thankfully, I'm not the only one infuriated by this. TikTok trends of primarily young white women saying they wish that Netflix's Dahmer series had been more graphic or morbid have been circulating and sparking conversations about the way we treat victims in the true crime genre. One creator has referred to the groups of people hanging on to gruesome details as vultures and ghouls of the true crime community that, by and large, is made up of people that are fascinated as to why people behave so inhumanely towards one another. And I agree with him. There is something so beyond off-putting to me to see a woman wearing Dahmer earrings begging for more morbid details about his murders. But the sensationalist, crass, commercial, and disturbingly casual attitude we have about true crime as a whole is one thing. The way that people become fans and groupies of serial killers is another. And expectedly, we've seen plenty of this behavior on TikTok.
Yeah, this is actually a big thing right now.
Well,
and
Manson had these groupies. I call them sick groupies too,
Yeah, that's right. He did. They all have. I mean, even back to the ones from the 50s and 60s. But yeah, this is just disgusting.
It is disgusting. Now it's time for Oz doing his Hollywood hypocrisy moment. I have got to tell you guys, and this is where I'm being a hypocrite because I'm promoting Lex Luthor, one of his productions, his movies. But The Peripheral with Chloe Grace Moritz, I believe that's her name, young actress.
Yeah.
This movie, I just watched the first 2 episodes because we haven't had anything produced worth a shit as of late. I really recommend this one. At least the first 2 episodes out of the gate are interesting. They're fresh. The concepts are timely.
It's produced by Tony Podesta.
What?
Is that true?
I don't know. But it says executive producer Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy. Anyway, chalk that up to hypocrisy too. But the movie itself, or the miniseries itself, it's new and fresh. It's not like taking the Lord of the Rings or some of these other ones and Star Wars and just destroying the canon behind them. This is fresh. This is new. I would give it a thumbs up. Give it a try.
I will check it out once I'm done with Blacklist. I don't watch a lot of TV, but it's nice to have a list of stuff to check out when I do.
I don't either. And you've got this one here. What is this?
Well, I didn't bring the actual video. I'm sure you guys have seen that before, but John Malkovich put out an excellent, we need to release Julian Assange now. So it says John Malkovich on Julian Assange. I don't believe he will get a fair trial in the U.S. I would urge the UK government to revisit the decision to extradite. Free Assange now. And I just want to say kudos to a fucking real liberal out there. You know, that's what all Hollywood should be doing. All of Hollywood should be out there screaming for Julian Assange.
They should be.
And,
bravo. And somebody needs to set Luke Skywalker down about this war shit and have a conversation with him.
All of them.
He's
Oh
terrible.
my gosh, Crazy Puppet, you're amazing. Glad to see you guys live. Glad to see you, Crazy Puppet.
Yeah,
thank you so much for the generous super chat.
That super chat, again, we said at the top of the show, we have great people here. Whatever you give us, we appreciate it all. And you keep us going, you keep us inspired. And I know Sister Amber, if she was in here live with us, she'd be saying the same thing. She would be voicing it too. We really do appreciate it. And Crazy Puppet, I saw you give some pretty nice donations to some of our sisters and brothers this week. I appreciate you doing that for them too, because our sisters and brothers that we follow, we love them all, and they're, we might not all agree all the time, but we're in solidarity on the issues of planetary destruction, war, healthcare, everything else. So thank you so much again, Crazy Puppet. We really, really, really appreciate the help and support, especially these days. What do we have here? We got a Liz Trust.
Fee says, who again? Putin must go. Who must go?
Yeah. Kudos to Fee on that one. Nailed it. And I want to make a special shout out right here to our executive producer, Linda. She made this card. We love you too, Linda. This is so cool. She had it in the Halloween deck for next week, but Chanda and I said, we got to get this out there and show it off more. And
it's great.
We love being your favorite pair of boobs, Linda. We really do. You're doing outstanding work. And if you need any graphics or video work done, give Linda, friend her on Twitter, Hawkified. She does excellent work. I highly recommend her work. And if you work with Linda, you're going to get our team helping too. So
and all that brings she's doing a great job on the newsletter that's going out for Convo Couch and for us every week. And I'm going to get a Google's form set up this week so you guys can sign up so you can get on the newsletter. But most of you guys are in our chat, so you're seeing our content. But we want to make sure that our content's going out for people to see.
Yeah, and speaking of newsletter, I want to shout out Indy Left News. Indy said, guys, you got to get over on Substack with your videos and your newsletters. And if you want some good advice on how to do the stuff behind the scenes, I highly recommend Indy Left News.
Yes, we've got a lot of good tips and things from Indy.
They're killing it over there. Please support INN. They're doing great work, and they're working their ass off. So show them some love too. Again, we love all of our producers, all of our supporters. We just can't say it enough. And it's announcement time.
Trailer Park Pundit joined me Tuesdays at 10:05 a.m. and Thursdays we have To Hell and Back with Pasta stopping by. We actually did our first back show this week, and it was fun to have Pasta there. And I can't just stick to Hell and Back topics because I don't get to talk to Pasta very often, So I just want to throw a bunch of stuff at him and get his impression on things. So Thursdays are kind of fun because you just never know what the heck Pasta and I are going to be talking about.
Yeah, Pasta's great. I miss doing their shows. I think he's doing a great job on the ones and twos.
He's doing a great job.
And he's learning how to get the transitions and everything up. And he has the same grapple with Satan that we do with audio from time to time. But he's doing a great job. So kudos to Convo Couch. Get over there and support our sister and brother over on the Convo Couch. We still work with Convo Couch in the back when they need something, or if they do need a show engineered. Chanda can engineer it. I can engineer it, and that's what Roar set out to do, is to help our sisters and brothers in
we're
indie
achieving
media.
our goals.
Yeah,
I feel like we've achieved some major goals this last year, and that's because of the help of you guys, because of the donations you're sending in. We've upped our tech, we've upped our game. We actually got out and did some interviews, and I'm engineering. I'm doing my own shows. We're getting a lot more content, and starting this week, we got B&B short clips that are dropping. So during the week, we'll take the best of our Saturday show, clip it up, and put it out there. So yeah, it's been a work of progress, and we're there. We're getting there. It feels so good.
Yeah, absolutely. We love the show tonight. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We have a hell of an outro tonight that we've got. Good. And Indy, this is for your earworm. Hope you stick around for it. I made it especially because Indy said, God, Oz, got an earworm all day Sunday after you did that Barroom Blitz last week. So I hope we can change the same thing. Next week, Halloween, everybody. Just, what do they send us an email to, where are we sending that, or what do they do?
You can send it to beautyandtheboomer@gmail.com or Roar Media Live. What's Roar Media? RoarMediaLive@gmail.com.
Yeah, and we will get it. If you want to join us in the green room, and we will email you back with the link to join. That's how you will join it.
Or you can DM me. Or
you can DM me. We'll get it in there. And if you don't happen to get in there and it gets close to showtime, reach out any way you can. Let's get you in there and have a lot of fun. We're going to go out with The Look by Jess and Matt, and they are credited in the rundown like they're supposed to be. Thank you, Chanda. You were wonderful. And thank you, everybody in the chats. Have a great Sunday. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Just enjoy life, because this is where you come on Saturday nights, not to have a lot of stress and pressure. Hopefully a laugh or two. We enjoy bringing it to you. We'll see you. We'll see you this week.
Like a man, hitting like a hammer, she's a juvenile skin. Never was a quitter, tilted like a raindrop. She's got the look. Heavenly bound, cause heaven's got a number when she's spinning me around. Kissing is a color, and loving is a wild dog. She's got the look. She's got the look. She's got the look. She's got the look. What in the world can make a bright-eyed girl turn blue? When everything I'll ever do, I do for you. And I go, la 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 la, she's got the look. Fire in the eyes, taking to the T-bones of lover's disguise. Banging on a head drum, shaking like a mad bull. She's got the look. Swaying through the band, moving like a hammer, she's a miracle man. And loving is the ocean, kissing is the wet sand. She's got the look. She's got the look. She's got the look. What in the world can make a bright girl turn blue? When everything I'll ever do, I do for you. And I go la 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 la. She's got the look. She's got the love. She's got the love. What in the world can make a bright girl to move? When everything I'll ever do, I do for you. And I go la 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 la. She's got the love. What in the world can make you so blue? When everything I'll ever do, I do for you. And I go la 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 la. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. She's got the love. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. She's got the love. When everything I'll ever do, I do for you. And I go la 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 la. She's got the love.
Walking like a man, hitting like a hammer, she's a juvenile scam. Never was a quitter, tasted like a raindrop. She's got the love. She goes na 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 na. She's got the love. She's got the love. She's got the love. She's got the love. What in the world can make a bright girl to move? When everything I'll ever do, I do for you. And I go la 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 la. She's got the love. What in the world can make you so blue? When everything I'll ever do, I do for you. And I go la 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 la. Na 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 na. She's